right, it's Friday. Kiko's Watch Shows live on Solutions 939 FM. It is the first half of AM Update. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. Well, remember, Game 2 of the English Premier League goes down today. It starts today. And, well, for Arsenal, they'll be missing Timbers. And, well, it is also not really good news for Manchester City, as they will also be missing Kevin De Bruyne. This is just like a pointer to everybody who's got on the Premier League Fantasy Court or who are also in different leagues on the Premier League Fantasy. All you need to do is just quickly go straight to your fantasy, make all your subs. Do not make any mistake, because you cannot come back on Saturday, Sunday explaining. You go explain, Taya. Well, this morning we've got updates coming from the NBA. Formula One, we have update also from athletics. Remember, we are live on Facebook, facebook.com/solutions939FM, facebook.com/solutions939FM. Jump, watch, comment, share, like, subscribe. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with NBA this morning, where the 2023-2024 season will tip off in Denver, where the defending champions Nuggets will raise a banner to the rafters of Ball Arena for the first time in team's history before playing the Los Angeles Lakers. The league released its schedule for next season on a special episode of NBA Today on Thursday afternoon. Denver's title defense will begin Tuesday, October 24 against the team it vanquished in the Western Conference Finals. And in what will be the 21st season of LeBron James's legendary career, the Lakers hope to return to the finals for the first time since winning the title in 2020. The game, as opposed to an Eastern Conference matchup, as it typically the case, opens the schedule because the NBA has another massive rivalry contest following it. The new look Phoenix Suns, showcasing Bradley Beal alongside Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, will visit the Golden State Warriors and Chris Paul, whose first game for his new team will be against his former one. Now let's move on this morning and let us talk tennis here, where we have updates from the Cincinnati Open. Well, there's going to be telefreezes through to the next round after Dusan Lajovic's injury. Well, for Novak Djokovic, it was a smooth run for him, beating Game Muffins 6-3, 6-2. But for games going down today, Hubert Hurkacz will take on Alexei Popyrin as Carlo Alcaraz battles Max Purcell. Alcaraz's game will go down by 8 o'clock. And now, talking about the WTA category of the Cincinnati WTA 1000, it was a double. In the doubles category, it was Barbara Krejcikova and Katerina Siniakova walking over Karina Pliskova and Donna Vekic. But the likes of Corey Goff through to the next round of the singles, beating Linda Noskova 6-4, 6-love. But looking at games going down today, Iga Swiatek, the Polish lady, will be up against Marketa Vondrousova as Karolina Munkova battles Maria Boskova. Jasmine Paolini by 8 o'clock tonight will take on Corey Goff. Moving away from tennis this morning, let us talk Formula One, where lawyers for former Ferrari driver Felipe Massa has started legal action against Formula One bosses and the governing FIA, seeking substantial damages resulting from an alleged conspiracy that denied him the 2008 championship. A former 8-page letter before claim seen by reporters was sent to Formula One chief executive Stefano Domenicali and Paris-based FIA president Mohamed Ben soon here on 15th of August. Such a letter is a required formal legal notice before court proceedings. Let's talk about Toby Amusan this morning. Well, for World Women's 100-meter hurdles champion and record holder, Toby Amusan has been given the green light to compete at the upcoming World Athletics Championship set to begin this Saturday in Budapest, Hungary. Well, a tweet posted by the Athletics Integrity Union on X, formerly Twitter, says, and I quote, a panel of disciplinary tribunal by majority decision has found that Toby Amusan has not committed an anti-doping rule violation, ADRV, of 3 whereabouts failures within a 12-month period. AIU head Brett Clothier has indicated the Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, is disappointed by the decision and will review the reasoning in detail before deciding whether to exercise its right of appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, within the applicable deadline. End of quote. Now, recall the 26-year-old Amusan faced the charges of 3 whereabouts failures, which constitutes an anti-doping rule violation for missing 3 out of competition tests. With a 12-month period, Amusan had contested a charge, and Amusan now has the chance to defend the only title she has not defended in her career after a successful defense over Nigeria, African Championships, African Games, Commonwealth Games, and Diamond League titles. We say congratulations to Toby Amusan. Well, they call her, yes, sometimes if the white people say we call their names wrongly, yes, they call Toby Amusan's name wrongly because she's Toby Amusan, not Toby Amazon. She's Toby Amusan. We say, well, go, Toby Amusan. We're backing you, wishing you all the best at the championship. And at least you can now sing this song with Bolo.
Okay, I'm the bunch, Oski bunch, like my Jamaican friends call me. Make a telling my story. Make it listen, and all you have to say is okay, and that won't mean say it's the meaning. Kẹwàá nílé aṣákẹ́gbẹ́ yọ. Mo rẹ̀ ní kẹfà ní Kùbá aṣákẹ́gbà mi ní ṣòkòtò. Wọ́n ní D'banj, you are too bad. They said D'banj, you are a game player. Kì tó ṣẹ́jú pẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ti pé ọjọ́ fún mi. Àní kì tó ṣẹ́jú pẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn èké ti péjọ. Ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ wípé wọ́n gbọ́ tó láti mú mi? Àní ṣé wọ́n mọ̀ wípé I am the great you know. Wáyé gbókùn mi ò mọ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n tá ń retí ẹlẹ́yà mi ò mọ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́. Tọ́ba ní oníná máa mú wọ́n lálọ́ máa mú mọ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́. Níbo lẹ fi tolúwa mi sí o mọ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for
sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Okay, welcome back to Kiko Sports Show on Solutions 939 FM. Yeah, just to spice this up for you. Check the time right now. It is the 8:12. Let's talk football. But starting from the FIFA Women's World Cup. Okay, so for FIFA President Gianni Infantino has hit back at critics and took a victory lap at the FIFA Women's World Cup convention on Friday, saying that expanding Women's World Cup has turned out to be a success and FIFA was right to do so. The tournament had 24 teams competing in its previous edition in 2019 in France, but this edition in Australia and New Zealand expanded to 32 teams. 2 teams remain, England and Spain, who will play in the final on Sunday. Remember, Super Falcons of Nigeria failed to get to the quarterfinal round of the FIFA Women's World Cup, losing against the 3 Lionesses of England via penalty shootout after regulation time ended in a draw. But now let's talk about a team co-host Australia. Well, there is one lady in that team who's not backing down despite losing in the semi-final. She's none other than Sam Kerr. Well, she insists Australia will do everything they can in order to finish third at the World Cup. The co-hosts were left heartbroken after being knocked out of the tournament by England during the 3-1 semi-final defeat. Star striker Kerr has had limited game time throughout the tournament due to a calf injury, but lined up for the Matildas on Wednesday in front of 75,784 fans in Sydney. Although she leveled after Ella Tunis opener Lauren Ham and Alicia Rousseau sent the Lionesses through to the Sunday's final against Spain. Australia will now face Sweden in the 3rd place playoff in Brisbane on Saturday, and Kerr is determined to ensure they finish the tournament on a high. I love the spirit. You don't back down, right? Now, let's go straight to England this morning, where Football Association Chief Executive Mark Bullingham has warned of rival nations from making an approach for Saria Wickman after leading the Lionesses to the Women's World Cup final. Now, the 53-year-old stalker as a Saria winner has risen steadily since securing the European Championships trophy with her native Netherlands in 2017, then joined the same with England last summer. She has now guided England to first ever Women's World Cup final, in the process becoming the only manager to do so with 2 different nations in the showpiece after steering her home country to the same stage 4 years ago. The question here is, even some people are already saying that for Wickman, she can even manage the 3 Lions of England. I'm talking about the male national team of England. Well, when you do good, people talk about you, right? Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we talk about Lionel Messi, talk more club football stories. Do not go anywhere. Kiko Sports Show is live on Solutions 939 FM.
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash palava. As conductor they shout.
As you enter, so enter with your change.
Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this somebody don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say,
okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
when you come see that better yama roasted fish wey don dey hungry you since you come.
I don't carry my wallet come out too.
See life not suppose hard like this o. Na im make all of us for Naija dey pay for everything with Momo. Dial *671# or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
Hey, my name is Alex. I've been a content creator for a while now, and I always try to innovate to keep my audience entertained and engaged. When 5G came into Nigeria, I thought it was all noise, like the normal hype, gang, and all that noise. But boy, was I wrong. Because I've hosted virtual concerts, partied with my followers in the metaverse, created skits with creators in other countries without ever having to leave my room. I can shoot a movie without being on set. Hey, now that's a godsend. With all the money I've spent on cabs this year. If there's one thing 5G has done right, I would say it's made it easier for me to do me.
Change the game with MTN 5G. It offers hyper-fast internet speed, seamless buffering, and applications that can only be possible via its quality data capabilities. Available on broadband and mobile. MTN, Nigeria's #1 5G network. What are we doing today?
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, welcome back to Kickoff Sports Show live on Solutions 939 FM. Check the time right now. It is 8:18. And guess what today's date is? 8:18 or 18:8. My name is Oladapo Kunubi, and let's go straight talk about Lionel Messi this morning, who made the three-man shortlist announced on Thursday for the UEFA Awards as the best player in Europe last season. The World Cup winning captain from Argentina, who has left Europe to play for Inter Miami CF, is up against Manchester City teammates Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland. Messi won the UEFA Awards twice in its 12-year history, both in years when Barcelona were European champions. Manchester City won the Champions League title last season. Pep Guardiola is the favourite for the Men's Coaching Award after leading Manchester City to the UEFA Champions League, Premier League and FA Cup titles. Also nominated were Simone Inzaghi of Inter Milan, who led his team to the Champions League final, and Luciano Spalletti, who led Napoli to the Italian League title. The winners will be announced at the Champions League draw on August 31 in Monaco. The shortlist for the Women's Player and Coaching Awards will be announced next week after the Women's World Cup. UEFA said England will face Spain on Sunday in the final in Australia. Well, remember, Kylian Mbappe, Messi's former teammate at Paris Saint-Germain, was sixth in the players' voting by Europe-based coaches and journalists, despite his tournament leading 8 goals at last year's World Cup, including 3 in the final against Argentina. I know a lot of people will complain about this, but hey, that is what we're getting from the organizers of the award. Remember, also the PFA nominees shortlist also came out yesterday. 2 players from Arsenal, 3 from Manchester City, 1 from Tottenham Hotspur, and well, we have got Haaland also on that one. Stones, Kevin De Bruyne, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Harry Kane, that one in England. Okay, now let's take MLS. MLS might not be on the level of Europe's top leagues, but global superstar Lionel Messi said he believes it isn't far behind. In his first media interview on Thursday since joining Inter Miami in July as a free agent, the World Cup winner with Argentina said MLS is poised to reach the level of competition on the other side of the Atlantic. The former Barcelona star has been running rampant through the MLS and La Liga MX opponents since leaving Paris Saint-Germain at the end of the season of last season en route to Saturday's League's Cup final, scoring 9 times in 6 games, all wins. The growth and quality of the sports in the US hasn't slipped his attention. Now let's move on this morning. Let's focus on European football games going down this weekend, starting with a look at Harry Kane. Will he be starting on a scoring note? Yeah, we know in the League Cup final he lost with Bayern, but let's talk about the Bundesliga.
The new German league season kicks off this weekend with champions Bayern Munich battling Werder Bremen on Friday night. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Augsburg will face Borussia Mönchengladbach. Bayern Leverkusen will take on RB Leipzig, while Hoffenheim will take on Freiburg. Stuttgart will face Bochum. Wolfsburg will lock horns with newly promoted side Heidenheim. And Borussia Dortmund will trade tackles with FC Köln. On Sunday, Mainz will visit Union Berlin and Eintracht Frankfurt will take on Darmstadt at the Deutsche Bank Park.
Kickoff Sports Show still live. 8:21 is the time from Solutions 939 FM. In case you're just tuning in, this is the voice of Oladapo Kunubi. Shout out to guys watching live on Facebook. Solutions 939 FM. I'm going to be Ade Sharif, Adebojo Yusuf, Imafuji Peter, Afiz Adegbola. Okay, well, let's also let you know that Harry Kane He's open, to start on the scoring note. Well, Harry Kane has had an immediate effect on Bayern Munich's changing room atmosphere and is expected to make his first start for the German champions against Werder Bremen. The England captain completed his £100 million move and made his debut on Saturday, coming off the bench in the side's 3-0 loss in the German Super Cup defeat to RB Leipzig hours after being announced as Bayern player. Kane indicated on Sunday that he might need time to adapt to his new club after 19 years at Tottenham. Tuchel, who was critical of his squad after the match, confirmed the striker would start today's fixture. All right, now let's talk about the English Premier League. Key players have been ruled out of the next few for the next few games. We know that of Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne out, Timber as well out. Well, for Mikel Arteta, it is not going to be a sweet one because it is a bitter pill to swallow.
Huge blow, especially for him, because after just joining the club to have the injury that he has, it's a huge disappointment for him. Obviously, for the team, as in a big blow, because we recruited him with clear intentions, and what he was bringing to the team was evident, and he's not going to be able to do the season for us. So yeah, we have to adapt. These things happen, unfortunately, and we have to move on.
Well, having have to move on and look at other players who can be able to play and, giving their best. Remember, Arsenal scraped up a 2-1 victory over Taiwo Awoni's Nottingham Forest. But now going straight and look at what is also happening in other Premier League teams. We jump straight and look at what is happening in Chelsea. Well, Chelsea fear Reece James will be out for months with a hamstring injury sustained in training.
Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest light up week 2 of the English Premier League with a Friday night clash. On Saturday, Fulham will fly out against Brentford at the Craven Cottage. Liverpool take on Bournemouth at the Anfield. Wolves will hope to bounce back from the Monday night controversial loss to Manchester United when they take on Brighton and Hove Albion. As Tottenham host Manchester United and champions Manchester City will tackle hard-fighting Newcastle at the Etihad Stadium. On Sunday, Aston Villa will tackle Everton at the Villa Park, while London neighbours West Ham United and Chelsea will face each other at the London Stadium. Monday night football will see Arsenal lock arms with Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park.
Okay, now going straight, still in England, but going down to the Championship. One man played for English Premier League side. Arsenal moved to Southampton, and I'm talking about a man who's got a speed. It's called Theo Walcott. A few minutes ago, he announced his retirement from football following his departure from Southampton at the end of last season. Walcott, who scored more than 100 goals for Arsenal and won for the 7 England caps, had been linked with a move to Bournemouth and League One outfit Reading earlier this summer. Moving away from that, and let's go straight to the Italian Serie A. Also kicks off this weekend.
Victor Osimhen will be eyeing the Golden Boot Awards this season as the Italian Serie A kicks off this Saturday, with Napoli battling Frosinone. Empoli will tackle Verona, Genoa hosts Fiorentina, and Inter Milan will battle Monza as the San Siro. Sunday's games will see AS Roma take on Salernitana, Sassuolo face Atalanta, Lecce file out against Lazio, and Udinese host Juventus. Monday night football in Italy will see Torino battle Cagliari, and Bologna take on Samuel Chukwueze's AC Milan.
round 2 of the Spanish La Liga goes down, starts this weekend. Mallorca will be up against Villarreal, and that game is going down by 6:30. 8:30 is Valencia taking on Las Palmas. But let's move on and see other games scheduled for this weekend in Spain. Celta Vigo will be the guest of Real Sociedad. Almeria against Real Madrid. And Osasuna host Athletic Bilbao. Girona will be up against Getafe as Barcelona will be at home as the welcome Cadiz. Atletico Madrid will take on Real Betis as Alaves hosts Sevilla, and Granada hosts Rayo Vallecano. Away from the Spanish La Liga, let's quickly look at what is happening in the transfer window this morning. Starting in Germany, where Stuttgart midfielder Wataru Endo has been given permission to travel to England for transfer talks with medical examination at Liverpool. And Cole Palmer has admitted his Manchester City future is in the balance, with the forward saying it may depend on whether anyone is assigned who could reduce his game time. Okay, now Al Hilal have signed Morocco goalkeeper Yacine Bono from Spanish side Sevilla on a 3-year contract. The Atlantic Lions is our goalie. That is the tweet coming from the club on their X handle, formerly known as Twitter. The terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Spanish media reported Al Hilal will pay 21 million euros. That is approximately $22.8 million. Okay, now going straight to Everton. Everton have made a £12 million offer for Southampton's Che Adams. Adams has scored in each of Saints' first 2 championship games after finding the net 5 times in 28 Premier League appearances last season. And while we're also getting updates about Felix, negotiations are advancing for João Felix to join Barcelona on loan from Atletico Madrid. A loan fee around 7 to 8 million euros. That is according to updates we're getting from that end. Remember, Felix was on loan with Chelsea last season. He wanted to stay back based on the agreement of Chelsea qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. But where's Chelsea today? Well, guys, we have to stop. I'm over to the other side of the show this morning. We'll look at headlines on the pages of Nigeria's newspapers. But remember, catch me and Favor tomorrow afternoon, 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday Sports Safari. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. Do not go anywhere.
Keep it 93.9. 93.9 FM.
Keep it locked.
939 is the dial. Caro nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
How do you like your morning tray being served?
With hot coffee of sports news, mixed with enough headlines from pages of Nigerian news.
93.9. 93.9 FM.
Keep it locked.
939 is the dial. Caro nílùú Ìbàdàn. Solutions 93.9 FM.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, that an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor, Dapo, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, exactly 33 minutes gone past the hour of 8. Welcome to the last edition of From the Dailies, right here on the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9, where we get a view on some of the stories that made the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers and being a spotlight on some stories of national interest. Welcome to the show. My name is Victory Richard. Good morning to you, Dakbo.
Yeah, good morning to you, Victory. Thank God it's Friday. The man with the cap. I don't know why you decided to use cap.
It's Friday. Friday are usually for celebrations, so I thought, maybe from here I'll just go for one or one bell,
When you're
just
on
get
duty.
lit.
When you're on duty, you want to go for one bell.
Who says I can't go for one?
No,
bell?
just say it again.
Can take an hour break and
No,
just
no,
go and chill.
You know that sometimes that you want to go for one bell, you feel like, man, okay, like you said, 1 hour. And if no, let me just do 2 hours, like 3 hours. Don't worry.
Especially when it's interesting, yeah.
You know,
so
most
I
especially
get
when you
that.
now see plate of amala with bokoto, iwe.
Begiri.
Victory, you don't enjoy Gregory?
I mean, I try.
Oh, wow.
I try.
That's good.
I try.
That's good.
Sometimes I do.
Okay, well, I've got with me the Punch and the Nation newspapers this morning just to make you all salivate. You have to enjoy yourself, oh.
Right.
People enjoy yourself, oh.
Do that. You deserve it. I'll be taking stories from the Vanguard newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune. Be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook. We'll indulge that you engage us on our several social media platforms. On Facebook and YouTube, we are at Solutions 93.9. To do well to like, comment, and share. We'd like to hear your thoughts because there are a lot of stories that would interest you today as we take a view on the stories that made the front pages of the papers. Let's get right into the papers.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, we kick off this morning with the Vanguard newspaper, but before that, let me also remind you that you can send in messages via WhatsApp or regular text to 0904-422-2939. Shortly, the studio lines would be open because today's open mic session, so you get to call via the phone line 0909-888-9939 or 0912-222-2939. We begin with the story on the Vanguard newspaper. Credit to government rises further by 3.5% to 32.3 trillion naira. In Mayfield, federal government showing signs of disobeying court orders, and this is coming from the judge. Subsidy removal, no instant solutions to Nigeria's problem, Tinubu speaking there. Transcorp acquires 60% stake in Abuja Disco. And now to the biggest story on the Vanguard newspaper. We will invade Niger if diplomacy fails, ECOWAS speaking there. Subsidy removal. Federal government shocked over high food and transportation cost. Interesting. More stories from the Vanguard this morning. Flawed. We are burdened by over 6,000 IDPs. Niger government. Over 1,680 Nigerian school children kidnapped since Chibok incident. And now to sports. Club owners tax new sports minister, Senator Emo, on football development. What's your thoughts on the new minister on sports?
I mean, it has become, a decision that a lot of people have been running conversation about. When people checked the desire of the minister, it has nothing to do with sport. And it's not only Eno. I mean, look at other minister designate. You look at those in, well, maybe health and
most of the
social welfare.
Ministerial positions.
But look at aviation, look at power. It is not the first time that we'll be having this, most especially in sports, because it depends. I mean, when you look at government that is interested in sports, you look at the people appointed. Are they interested in? Sunday Dare wasn't a sports person. It was more of an ICT person, and he's a media person, digital space person. And at the end of the day, most of these sports ministers scatter the ministry, scatter sports federations. And at the end of the day, Nigeria gets suspended, banned by world governing bodies. I know what happened to Nigeria Basketball Federation being suspended and, later reinstated. Look at so many other things. But, I mean, most governments, or I don't know, they just put anybody, okay, because this person is young. They feel it is about the age that you can pick someone to manage sports ministry. It's not about the age, it's about the experience. But maybe you look at these special advisors. Maybe if the minister comes on board, he can appoint those who have the sports knowledge. Remember, sport is not only about football. It is not only about basketball. Look at Obi Amuso, for example. I mean, out of people who represented Nigeria at a particular championship, it was only, I think, athletics and wrestling that brought glory to Nigeria. Now look at our basketball. The male basketball team will not be going to the Olympics. But look at the women. They did well. And they came back with the Afro Basket Championship title. So it is someone that understands, sports, how Nigeria can benefit, make money. See what is happening in England. I was telling you, okay, do you know how much that has moved between Saudi Arabia to Europe? Buying players from the likes of PSG, look at Chelsea, look at, Real Madrid and the likes. TV right. Look at our league.
All right, Doc. Well, I think
you have pressed the wrong button in me.
That's enough.
Victor, you have pressed the wrong button in me this morning.
Let's continue with the papers.
Okay.
I totally get your sentiments because I understand that for any sector to thrive, you must put people who are technocrats in those sectors. So let's hope that there's a turnaround. Let's get right into more stories from other papers.
You press the sports ministry button. Let me start with sports headline from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation, the cap headline here: Toby Amuson cleared for World Championships. Niger, ECOWAS activate standby force. And the writer to that headline: defense chiefs in Ghana. Ganduje leads Uzodimma Okorocha to Aso Villa. A red headline from the Nation newspaper this morning: Commissioner Ondo's debt down to 92 billion naira. Kwara pays 150 million naira for girl child education. The next headline, which is the banner headline from the Nation newspaper this morning: states awash with 180 billion naira subsidy pain relief cash. Riders: federal government 5 billion naira per state fund for immediate use to cushion high flood fertilizer prices. NEC okays transfer of World Bank's $800 million to the poor. Talks with Labour to go on. And if you want to see the highlights of how this money will be spent, check the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. And the front page picture from the Nation newspaper this morning is about the suspended CBN, ex-CBN Governor Emefiele was in court yesterday, and his case, the fraud case, had to be adjourned. And well, looking at other headlines, Defense Headquarters. 3 officers, 3 soldiers died in Niger ambush. NAF jet crash. Export. AK-47 can't shoot down jet. So what did they use? Emefiele charged with fraud, abuse of office, others in Abuja. Right after that headline. Arms possession suit struck out in Lagos. Last headline from the Nation newspaper this morning. Agbakoba, Amadi, Bwala, others OK ministers' portfolios. This and more. To know more, get a copy of the Nation newspaper.
All right, away from the Nation, let's now move over to Nigerian Tribune this morning. Starting off with the story, Toby Amuson not guilty. Find that story on the back page of the Nigerian Tribune. 3 officers, 22 soldiers killed in Niger ambush, and this is coming from DHQ. And now to the biggest story on the Nigerian Tribune, palliatives. States get 5 billion naira each, 185 trucks of rice. Read up on that on page 3. NEC constitutes ad hoc committee to dialogue with Labour. Lament dwindling foreign investment inflow. More stories this morning. Nigeria should not backtrack on PMS subsidy removal. World Bank. We've been seeing a lot of clamor on social media about going back to, subsidy on petrol. But the World Bank is reiterating that the president's decision is 100. All right, back home to Ibadan. Ibadan residents protest at Oyo Secretariat over sealing of houses by Mogaji. Find that on page 26. NDIC hints on investigating directors of 183 failed microfinance banks, PMBs. ECOWAS says we are going into Niger if all else fails. These are the stories that made the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, going straight to the Punch newspaper this morning with the headlines we have here. Starting from the COP this morning. Banditry, North Central, Northwest plunge into 902 billion naira debt. Poor revenue persists. And right after that headline, low IJR linked to insecurity. 60% of affected states lack FDIs. FG begins, ministers designate documentation Saturday. Banner headline from the Punch newspaper this morning. Labour faults 180 billion naira palliatives. Says governors will frustrate program. Riders to this headline. States to get 180 trucks of rice. NLC, TUC, worry politicians will hoard materials. Next rider, NEC committee to meet Labour over subsidy relief. Tinubu appeals to Nigerians. And we have the front page picture with that of Emefiele. And the headline below that picture says, Emefiele, DSS drops firearms charges. 6.9 billion naira fraud case adjourned. And shoe headlines are from the Punch newspaper. Military mourns 25 soldiers killed in Niger. Hunts bandits. Family faults release of Lagos chief's suspected killer. Rains disrupting Lagos-Ibadan Expressway construction. FG, page 4 and 5 of that story. That story is in the page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. So we don't know when the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be done. Okay, so these are the headlines we have on the pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning. And now we go straight to the burning issue this morning. Well, it is more of the palliatives. When I first saw the story, I was like, okay, so how would that happen? Remember, during COVID-19, palliatives were sent to states. In some states, some palliatives, where they kept them, people went there to, pack. But areas, the one of the members of the committee of governors that spoke yesterday at the Villa, Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State, spoke on behalf of Mr. President, talking about how much that has been put forward, how much has been invested into the palliative for Nigerians, poor Nigerians, not the likes of Victory, in order to survive the subsidy removal. Because if you look at this, how can an ordinary Nigerian, survive at this period? Okay, unfortunately, we could not get that sound, but we're trying to get, the sound from the meeting yesterday. And at first, I felt like, okay, if these governors have agreed to allow the palliative go, the question is, with what NLC is saying, that this may be, at the end of the day, the governors may not disburse the palliatives. I think like 5 trucks of rice to different states, and look at the billions of naira. But what for NLC, TUC going again? Saying that the governors may sabotage this effort. So, are we trying to say that these governors federal government is wasting money?
Well, I will speak with what I've seen on social media regarding Nigerians' reaction to the news of the palliatives. We're talking about federal government distributing, over 5 billion naira to different states of the federation, as well as trucks of rice. And now I've read a couple of tweets, I've read a couple of reactions, and from what I see, Nigerians are not interested in palliatives. What I've read so far is people clamoring for the rehabilitation of our refineries, as well as putting transport structure systems, getting buses. These are the suggested ways to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. And what is interesting to me is, up until this time, of Nigerians always making audacious statements on how the rehabilitation of our refinery, as well as provision of transportation systems, reliable and viable transportation systems like buses, would help cushion the effect. We're not seeing that the federal government is making headway in that direction. However, they're very much interested in palliatives. Now, like you rightly mentioned, what happened in 2020 with the COVID-19 palliative, we saw that these palliatives became souvenirs for some of these politicians to distribute in their event. We saw where fuels were used as souvenirs. We saw where these bags of rice were used as birthday souvenirs, and we don't want that. We do not want that.
We know what happened at Oluyole, where one of the senators had the palliatives kept in his one of his houses in Oluyole.
These palliatives were hoarded.
But let's talk to Comrade Ayode Jadishokwe this morning. If this, and also there's another burning issue, but we'll talk about that from NDLEA. But Comrade, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
My comrade brothers.
Good morning
to you.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, indeed. We're grateful to
I
be
can
alive.
see victory decked in his Friday mood.
Always and never ready for the party. Good morning to you, comrade.
Comrade,
Good morning.
let us start with the 185 billion naira palliative fund for poor Nigerians and 5 trucks of rice to states in Nigeria.
5 billion palliative. Yes.
No, what? All right, that is in total.
Okay.
Yes, it's in total.
Okay.
But now, also look at the trucks of rice. Is it about the trucks of rice? And let's also look at what happened years ago during COVID-19. Can Nigerians be relieved with this, distribution of palliative funds?
Well, TUC, Labour in form of TUC and NLC and other people, they have spoken the minds of Nigerians. You see, it is a deficit of trust. And another problem is the issue of database. You understand? No, we don't have a database. We don't even know our numbers. We don't have, not all of us have identity. You understand? Identity as in, I'm a Nigerian, I'm an indigenous citizen of this, where this is my location. I cannot be located. You understand? People don't have identity. And that's a very difficult something. Very, very, very difficult. So what parameters are they going to use to distribute? What platforms are they going to use to distribute? Government is in charge, right? Yeah. Government will use local government. They will use members of House of Representatives. They will use members of the local government or what? Or they will use in each state. In each state, each government that is, each party that is in government will favor its own, party members.
But we heard that there's going to be there's a register. And, I mean, for your state, for example, there's going to be updates of the social register, which we are also getting in other states as well.
Did you hear from Oyo State government that it was trying to update the register to 200,000? Trying to update that register to 200,000. The last census, the head count in Oyo State was whatever year, more than in the days of Obasanjo, 2005. That makes it 18 or so years ago. And it put Oyo State around 6 million. You can as well say we're about 8 million or thereabouts, if not more now. And if the population, our population, the demography of our population says the youth of this country constitutes about 63% of the population. And that means a very high number of people. And of course, the youth are unemployed. You understand? So how 200,000 out of probably 5-6 million people, that is not going to get anywhere. And we didn't even get to the people. And what quantum of 6,000 bags? I think it is 6,000 bags. 5 trailer loads is 6,000 bags because it is usually 600 bags that is in one trailer because they are 50 kg, just like bags of cement. Now, 6,000 bags in Oyo State, and some people will bag it. Some people will. Do you realize that in Nigeria, what United Nations sent for IDPs were found in markets being sold, branded for internally displaced people? They ended up in the market being sold. So, what checks? Who are the people that are going to do this? Will they invite labor? Will they invite civil society organizations? Will all of these checks and balances be there? We wait, we see. And then the 5 billion, what are they going to do? They say they have to buy grains and more rice with it. We wait. We are hoping. We are looking at them. We are watching.
Well, I guess we'll hope and see that what happened in 2020 doesn't repeat itself. But it looks to me that Nigerians are really not interested with the palliatives. You, for one, you've always reiterated that you don't even like the word palliative. And
I don't like it.
The federal government, they're so keen on palliative as opposed to maybe setting up transport structures and systems or the rehabilitations of our refineries. Why is that not even up for consideration? What do you think is happening?
Victory. All these things are in phases. The short, immediate term thing, the medium term, and the long term. We have this situation because there was no plan. The president said in France that he was seized. You know what it means to be seized? He said he was seized suddenly by courage when he was delivering in his inaugural address to announce he was seized. You understand? So there was no plan. So there was no plan. It is clear that there was no plan. So whatever response that we are getting, and I've been saying it, that by end of September, believe you me, more money will be thrown at this crisis. They will soon roll out wage increase or whatever. They will throw money at it. That is the immediate thing that they have to do now. They are throwing money at it. And then noise will be generated. Noise will be generated over controversies or which state did not deliver or who stole what. You understand? That is distraction. They know us. They know us. That will generate controversy, and then we'll be distracted from the main issue. And then by end of September or October, they will throw some more money out in terms of wages and all of that. And then they will have some relief. That is it. But the fundamental is to address the transport. Did you hear what Professor Zulum said? His government is shocked by the rising cost of food and transport. Yeah, they will be shocked because they don't live here. They don't live here. Are you shocked? How can somebody say they are shocked? From the whole of June, the whole of July, and we are in August, and they're telling us in August that they are shocked. Of course, what do you expect to happen? I have said this thing repeatedly. Go to Kaduna, Ilorin, Ogbomoso, Ibadan, Lagos Road. You see these minibuses coming from the northern part of Nigeria every morning, running on PMS, bringing tomato, pepper, and tatati and all of that. They run on PMS, 3/4 of them, because they have to bring it fresh. Those slow-running trucks cannot do that, and they say they are shocked. What shock is that? That means they are not living amongst us. They are isolated. So people that go very isolated. The American president buys his own food now. He's not giving free food. So his wife, those who do groceries will know what is happening. You understand? They don't know. They live on us, as it were. So that is why they are shocked. So there's a disconnect. That's just it. There's a disconnect between the leaders and the led. And believe me, let me tell you, it is in the long run dangerous for them. I've never seen a political class like Nigeria, where they are not afraid of probable consequences, because the one they say they'll be impeaching, one day will be one day.
All right. All right, let's move to other stories this morning. ECOWAS has just said that they will invade Niger if diplomacy fails. It looks to me that there's a cat and mouse game between Niger and ECOWAS. Just when we thought the whole issue has been nipped to the bud, where they're going to come to a resolution with diplomacy, is looking as though Niger or the QPs are not ready to come to terms with the arrangement. How do you think this will play out?
It is the general that was speaking yesterday. He's not a Nigerian general. I think it's a general from Ghana.
Yes.
So you see, war is business. That's what they call the military industrial complex. There has been a stockpile of weapons. They are producing weapons every day. They got to sell these weapons. They got to test some of these weapons that are new. That is their own business. So they must ignite war. And that for the generals that are saying they are going to war. War is business for the generals. Globally, war is business. He won't be there. He won't be in the forefront. He will be in the headquarters, and then it will be tens of miles, if not hundreds of miles away from the war front. So it is easy for him. The guys that will be deployed, the Air Force guys that will be risking their life and all of that. It is easy for him to say that. Nobody is going to go to war in Niger. It will be sheer foolhardiness. Niger Republic has been a good neighbor to us over the years. They have been good neighbors. And let me tell you, what is the difference between the northern Nigeria? 7 states border Niger. What is the difference? Buhari himself is a fourth-generation Nigeria. The man that was our president. Fourth-generation Nigerian. You understand? Fourth-generation Nigeria. The man that was our president. So, when his father was a Nigerian, fourth-generation Nigerian president. So, and so many like that. 7 states, 1,000 kilometers plus of border with Niger Republic. Have you ever had any wahala with Niger Republic? Why? They have been good neighbors. So there's no need. There won't be war, I can assure you. I can assure you that there is not going to be any war. Nigeria, it is not in our interest. You know we have a gas pipeline that's supposed to go to Algeria and then on to Europe. What is in our interest in fighting Niger? Of course, I know that the new guy that is going to be the foreign affairs minister was envoy to Germany, studied the international relations at his first degree. He must have the basic grasp of all of this. And there's not going to be no war. But there will be grandstanding, there will be rhetoric, and all of that. There will be war.
Well, I guess we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how that plays out. Well, yesterday, another interesting news made the rounds with Nigerian artist Naira Marley, who visited the NDLEA office. Now, we've seen that story raise a lot of eyebrows because the person in question has a questionable character as it concerns drug usage. And now the NDLEA is somewhat using him as a medium to pass the message to young Nigerians to cease from drug and substance abuse. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Yeah, well, my people, you know what it is. It's your boy Naira Marley. I would like to urge my fans, the Malians, and all the Nigerian youths to stop doing drugs because it's not good for your well-being. Let's all stop substance abuse in any form. I've keyed into this campaign to support NDLA to stop drugs on the street. Please join us. It's really not good. It makes you go back into crime. It does a lot of things to you. Thank you very much.
That was Naira Marley yesterday. Well, Comrade Ayode Jajishokwe.
Yeah.
Are you there?
I am.
Okay, hope you listen to Naira Marley. I mean, if you look at his videos, you look at, so many issues he has also, involved himself with, and even people in his team. Do you think the decision, maybe some will say a PR by the NDLEA using Naira Marley to spread a message?
Now, there's been a lot of angles to it, two sides to this entire story. Nigerians are of the opinion that he is an opinion leader, so if he's coming out under the auspices of the NDLEA to speak against drugs, then maybe Nigerians will listen to him. But then again, here's one person who is very, very active with drug and substance abuse. So it's kind of conflicting if he is the right model to use to pass such a message. What are your thoughts?
Naira Marley, by his antecedents, is engaged, like many of his peers, in substance abuse. The issue of substance abuse in Nigeria, a few weeks back, I was with the commander of the Drug Enforcement Agency in Oyo State. I was in his office, to have a conversation with him. You will agree that since General Buba Marwa came into office, a lot has happened. He has done a lot. And the commander in Oyo State told me, a master plan was put in place, things were revived, morale, promotion, and that is why we're seeing the results that we are seeing. It is not, consumption. And I asked a particular question, at what level are we? We used to be a transit camp. He said, we are not just a transit camp now. We are big users. We are a transit, we still remain a transit camp, but we have added another star to our shoulder. We now manufacture big time manufacturing of all this. And we have moved away from Indian hemp and cocaine and crack. We have moved to the level of Colorado and all of those speed and all of those things. Somebody very close to me, I was just accessing my home one Sunday night about 8:30, and as I was opening my door, the woman said, please, please, come. The son, maybe 20-year-old son, university, final year university student, for 3-4 days, he was sky high on drugs he had taken about 4-5 days before that. You understand? What kind of a high is that will put you on a high for 72 hours for 5 days? That's crazy. That will affect the brain. You understand? So there is a need to tackle this. And we don't take mental health issues seriously in this part of the world. We put it into the realm of the spiritual. So there's need for us to tackle it. But using Naira Marley Naira Marley has not confessed his penitence and conversion to the, he has not. And let us see him out, not just a one-off thing, you understand? We got to see him on a road show, you understand? Around the country, get some, and you need people from all over, not just Naira Marley. People that are known to be engaged in substance abuse or who have the appeal. It is crazy what is happening now. I was in one roadside shop, somebody that sells stuff, and I saw young boys trooping in, evening time, 6:37, and I said, what's happening? And they told me that they are purchasing one tube like that. It is meant for something else, but they will come join it and immediately, these boys were buying 2, 3, 4 in the evening, trooping in, you understand? So how do you control that? So we should tackle this because we have a youthful population, and if we destroy that youthful population through drugs, that is dangerous for the future. It will catch up in another 20, 25, 30 years now. That is it.
But what other angle do you think NDLEA should have used in passing a direct message to Nigerian youths?
NDLEA is also working through schools. That is where the guests start. Peer pressure, you understand?
Yeah.
They're working through schools. They are setting up clubs. They have clubs. And they are using traditional institutions, families, and all of that. Well, you see, I asked about personnel. Personnel is certainly not enough. And I don't think they are very well funded, you understand? They're not, as you know, battling drug, you know how sophisticated and terrible drug cartels can be, you understand? And confronting them and removing them. Drug is profitable. It's so much profitable business. Of course, you look around the world. Look at the drug kingpins around the world. Even battling government. Look at Colombia. Causing problem for government. Even the church, the Catholic Church, pardon me, was at the time supporting, some of these drug kingpins. So that is just the challenge. I do hope that government will realize, and even society, in your government, we've got to support things like this, our individuals. The rich, and not just the rich, because we all run a risk in society. Look at what is happening in the United States. Drugs just kill people, It just kills people, and if it does not kill, it destroys. Somebody keeps telling me that drug use is a one-way street, that there is no U-turn. When you get on that road, you just keep going. And that is self-destruction. I do hope, even if our youth are adventurous, they should know where their adventure should take them. It should not take them to the point of destruction.
Okay, let's take you on an adventure to Osun State this morning as we wrap up this morning. And maybe you've seen this headline saying that Adeleke hoarding FG palliatives sent to Osun. This is coming from APC. And saying that, Adeleke got the trucks of rice. And, if you look at the story, it looks like maybe APC is playing to the gallery, or because this is a PDP government and APC needs to play the opposition game here. Saying that Adeleke received the consignment from the FG 12 days before Thursday and noted Adeleke was playing a dangerous game by refusing to disclose or distribute the items.
Well, even beyond Adeleke alone, but in the case of Osun State, I do hope Osun is not Osun, if you want to say, may not particularly be a big state like Oyo, you want to say, but I do hope they will be I do hope our leaders will be compassionate. People are suffering. People are under pressure. You listen to, sometimes I listen to radio and I hear people call, not just the Southwest, or not just this Ibadan or your state, around the country, you hear the pain that people are expressing. You hear the pain in their voices. You hear the words that they use to describe what they are going through. Maybe, I do not know, I doubt it, that if you and I will qualify for those palliatives, certainly we cannot qualify for it because you certainly are above what will qualify people for palliative. I do hope our leaders, and when I say leaders, I mean from the world level, political leadership, government leadership at all levels. I hope they will be compassionate enough to allow these things to get to the people. And after all, 5,000, 6,000 bags of rice in Oyo State, how many Congos will get to them? You have a family of a father, mother, and 4 children. You give them, are you going to give them 10 kilogram bag, 10 Congos of rice? There are families who will eat 1 Congo at a sitting. So how many days would that one last? That then you will still be cutting back on it. Some will even want to take some bags and go and sell it. People should not think governance is a criminal enterprise to rob the people. It is not to rob the people, it is to serve the people. And should be above politicking. Elections are over. Governance is now. Let them govern, let them lead, and let them lead by examples. People are watching. Okay. People are watching.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Ayode Ajishokwe. We were able to hold down the week with Comrade Oluwamotosho with analysis and your perspectives concerning headlines from the pages of Nigerian newspapers this week. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a splendid weekend.
You too. Okay, Comrade Ayode Ajishokwe there, But now let's go straight to reaction this morning from Nigerians. Remember, you can also be part of the program. We're live on Facebook, YouTube. You can as well send us a message on this platform, same as WhatsApp, 0904-422-2939. That's the WhatsApp line, 0904-422-2939. But you want to call this morning because it is open mic session. Call the numbers 0909-888-9939, 0909-888-9939, or 0912-222-2939. NLC, TUC saying that governors may truncate or sabotage the palliative distribution. But can we give the governors the benefit of the doubt? Like what Comrade Ayode Ajishokwe said earlier, that let us hope that these people can do the job. And in Osun State, elections are over. It is about governance. This and more we look at this morning. Let's also remember you can also send us tweets via the X app to Solutions 939 FM, Solutions 939 FM, and I'll read your tweets this morning. But first, let's go on a break.
Tell people I'm a full-time master student and a content creator. They go, huh? How are you able to do both all at once? You bewitch? No be juju. Na MTN 5G. Ever since 5G came into my life, I've been on cloud 9. I get to take my classes online in real time and upload my videos before you say Jack Robinson. Even babe isn't left out. Our long distance is waxing strong.
Hello, babe. Can you hear me? Your video is frozen again.
We don't do that here, because life is a breeze.
Experience the wonders of MTN 5G. Hyper-fast internet connection with no buffering, zero lag, and quality data capabilities like never seen before. Available on broadband and mobile. MTN, Nigeria's #1 5G network. What are we doing today?
Omo, our eye don't see way for this cash balava. As conductor they shout.
As you enter, so enter with your change.
Market women go dey holla.
I beg, this somebody don't say, I no fit collect now.
Supermarket people go dey tell you say.
Okay, we don't get change. I beg, use and take sweet now.
When you come see that better yama roasted fish with all the hungry you since in come.
I no carry my wallet come out too.
See, life not suppose hard like this, oh. Now it make all of us for Nigeria they pay for everything with Momo. Dial star 671 hash or download the new Momo app. Make you follow enjoy this better life. Momo, better than cash.
Alright, 17 minutes gone past the hour of 9. You're still listening to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. This is the last edition of From the Dailies for the week. My name is Victor Richard and Double Kunubi is right with me in the studio. Of course, we just concluded the analysis on some of the stories that made the rounds this morning, and it's about time for us to get your responses and reactions to some of these stories. We spoke about the palliative distribution of 5 billion naira to the different states of the federation in order to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy, and this was made yesterday, the announcement by Babagana Zulum, talking about the plans of the federal government. This is where your voice matters, and this is why you need to speak up. You would have listened to Comrade Adejo, who spoke about how the powers that be might be alien to some of these experiences. Recall that he said that he is alien. Okay, we have a call already. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning.
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Paka area.
Okay, Joseph.
So, first of all, I want to say you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
And what else I have to say is concerning the 5 billion that they said they're spending, I don't believe that that's how it lies. Because if you think about it, I studied abroad. I was in Poland about 2 years ago during the coronavirus.
Joseph, please try and call us back. You still have enough time this morning.
Yes,
right?
we'll love to hear your thoughts. The studio lines are 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. Like I was saying, Comrade said the powers that be might be alien to the experiences. Like Babaga and Zulu mentioned, he said he is surprised, expressed shock at the rising cost of food and transportation, because I mean he doesn't use commercial vehicles, so how would he know that we're paying a ridiculous amount for, you know, somewhere very close? And this is why we need to speak in this regard, so we don't have some of these implementations being executed. What we want is refineries. What we want is a transportation system, buses, that will mitigate or cushion the effect that this subsidy removal is having on Nigerians, on our lives. And we want to see that change happen. However, it may look as though the federal government is more keen on palliatives. You already saw what happened in 2020. Palliative that were sent to states were being used as souvenirs by some politicians. And we don't want a repetition of that, because you're giving these people more access to the benefits that would have been given to vulnerable Nigerians, over 130 million vulnerable Nigerians. We also spoke about Naira Marley being an ambassador for drug and substance abuse, which is somewhat strange to me. We saw the likes of Tonto Dike reacting, even though I'm not sure Tonto Dike has the moral compacts for that, because she's also, you know, we've seen a couple of videos of her indulging, but I mean, it is what it is.
That was then, though.
Yeah, she said she's repented, so I strongly believe Tonto. But I'm very impressed with her coming out to speak audaciously, you know, shunning the NDLEA, also, you know, lending her voice in that regard. That it's quite embarrassing in her words. She said it's embarrassing that the NDLEA is coming to pose Naira Marley as an ambassador for drug and substance abuse. And truthfully, if you watch the video, his body language wasn't given as though he was interested. It was more like, okay, do this video for us, light, camera, action.
No, another thing I'm also looking at is maybe some of his boys got arrested, and they now have to sign a contract. You have to do this so that we can arrest you. I mean, we can, free your people, or even he got arrested, because there are times that you check these people, check their pockets, check their cars. You surely find substance there. So to avoid, tarnishing your image, do this. I'm just saying.
That's a hypothetical angle to look at it, to be fair. But I mean, whatever the reason the NDLEA has for that, I hope it is worth it, and I hope at the end of the day we don't see another video of Naira Marley indulging in drugs, because it defeats the idea of having him serve as a model or an ambassador to this. Well, call us up, let's hear your thoughts. 0909 888 9939 or 0912 222 2939. Let's look at some messages this morning as we await your calls.
Okay, so let's go straight to the topic you were talking about. Naira Marley to youths: stop doing drugs, not good for you. Let's get reactions from that particular headline. At the Rough6234 on Twitter says, please allow me to sleep peacefully. This okay. All eyes on judiciary. At Arsenal 188.55 says, you say waiting. Okay. At Dokan Fossa 1 says, NDLA is now a joke in everyone's lip, as they shame themselves by using a known promoter of drugs to be their poster boy. Okay. That's the message from that angle.
All right, let's look at other messages this morning, kicking off with Ashley, who says, frankly speaking, the Nigerian government must mandate every adult in Nigeria to own a smart device or have a bank account. That way, funds can be directly disbursed into eligible and qualified accounts without the interference of a third party. We have to embrace tech by all force in the country. I understand your sentiment, but the question is, would the money be distributed? It's not the functionality of having bank accounts. For the ones who has or who have had bank accounts over the years, have this money distributed to them.
Yeah, sorry for cutting in. Ayode Jadishokwe says something about the data, sensors. Maybe sensors should be done first before distributing the palliative, so we know the number of people in each state. Those is it the poorest of the poorest? We know the poorest of the poorest. We know the poorer. We know the poor, and we know the rich, so that we know where these palliatives are going into. I mean, if the census, the Nigerian Census Commission has already come out to say that everything was set before the past administration left, then I feel like maybe the census should have gone ahead. We have the data. Then this money will not be a waste, and the governors can easily give accounts of how these monies are spent.
Well, Neko Lewis says all this might end up as 500 naira and 2 cups of rice for like 50 families in each local government area. That is 2 persons per village will now spend like 3K to go to their LGA and receive 2 cups of rice plus 500 naira. She's breaking it down, and I mean, it's quite an interesting analysis if you look at it.
Okay.
Mr. Valentine says these are not the real issues. They should fix our refineries, give us power and security, but no, they want us to settle political. They would want to settle political slaves in their respective states. Okay. Another message here from the mayor of Oyo. He says, this is nothing but total humiliation on total humiliation on Nigerians by providing rice despite the hardship facing us. It's the only rice that we eat in this country. Every now and then, they want to provide rice. Are there no other foods that can be provided for Nigerians? This is just ridiculous. Mayor of Oyo sent in that message.
Victory. I mean, the way you read the message is like you're speaking through the person.
Because, I mean, just having a view of what he's saying is giving me the tonality of his voice. Because, I mean, rice and rice and rice is the only rice that we have in this country, to be honest.
So when they campaign, they share rice. When there's Christmas, you share rice. When there's Ramadan, you share rice. When there's,
we have yam, we have potatoes, we have beans, there are several things to share.
The reason this tweet from @Godano says instead of sending 5 billion naira each to states that will eventually be mismanaged, why don't you put it in measures that will crash the price of foodstuffs?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Another message here from Prince Israel. He says, for me, first things first, respective state governors should earmark 1 to 1.5 billion from the money to offset outstanding gratuities of retirees and then share the balance amongst the citizens of the state. Okay, another message from Decker says, the government has failed to build a system that allows people to thrive independently. All they do is embezzle the funds and no one is saying or doing anything about it. Edit says, we shall receive nothing because the chances are very minimal. We had bags of rice and other consumables hidden for months. Then how much of this money do you think you would get? If you're believing that monies and rice is coming to your family, you are a joker in this country. It's okay. Another message here from Inkasola says, no statistics for how these monies will be distributed. So how do you intend to get it? I don't believe this government. Another message here from Kodul Bia says, another 5 billion naira about to be looted before it drops. I laugh in Swahili.
Okay. I think it is okay. I just
well.
Okay, that's okay. This is 9:28. It is Friday. It is Friday. Let's speak this. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Sorry, I called earlier.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was out of the time. So what I was saying, I studied last year. I studied abroad, and year before last year, sorry, I was in Poland during the coronavirus period.
Okay.
And the Polish government gave everybody in the account $1,000 each. There was a budget that was released, and everybody received $1,000. Even foreigners, those of us who were foreigners. Yeah. Last year, in Germany, before I came back to Nigeria, and the German government, because of the war in Ukraine, the price of oil and everything went up and everything. The German government gave everybody 1,500, which I also received, and every Nigerian and every foreigner I knew received that from the budget. And even with that, they were complaining that there was about 5% or 10% of that budget that was accounted for, but it was done. The job was done. Now, what they released, the money they released was not up to 5 billion naira, but our government is releasing 5 billion naira with the idea that they want to share 8,000 naira for. We are over 190,000 million Nigerians, 190 million Nigerians here. If they are sharing 5 billion for us, it means that every person is supposed to receive about 3 million or so. That's from 5 billion naira. And every person is supposed to receive
by your division.
Yeah?
By your division, I suppose. 3 million for each family. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And from that, they're saying 8,000 naira. Imagine from 3, that's if they're sharing it equally. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 million naira per person, but they're saying 8,000 naira. What is 8,000? So what's going to happen? I mean, if they're sharing 8,000 naira, it's going to remain about 4.6 billion, yes, because 8,000 naira for 190 million Nigerians would be about 300 million or so. So there should be about 6 to 7 4.6 or 7 billion naira remaining from there. So where is that remaining money going to? Who is the money going to at the end of the day? You see, so it's another tactic for them steal from Nigerians. And because most Nigerians don't do the math. We just hear, okay, they are sharing money, but this money, we know already that the money is not coming. So we don't even bother to do the math, of which if we do that math and get back to them, they will know that Nigerians are not stupid. You understand?
Yeah.
We are not stupid, but these are things that we don't talk about. Most people just say, they're using 5 million and they're giving us, they're saying they want to give us 8,000, which is nothing. It's not even enough to feed the family of 5. It's not enough to, but what about the math here? We're not doing all that. And then about the Naira Marley issue, where he's saying, where he was speaking on behalf of the NDLEA and stuff. I don't have any comments on that, really. The same thing I would say is the same everybody else that has that watched that video, that has what it says. I haven't seen the video. I just heard it from. I just heard the replay from you guys, and to me it was funny. I have nothing to say about that.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Lastly, I just want to say this: most of our problems in this country are from the people. 80% of our problems. Now let me explain. During the beginning of this year, when the POS issue happened and everything, we all knew there wasn't money in the bank. If you had to go to the bank, you would queue there and everything. And so the POS people raised their commissions and everything. And now, during this period, particularly now, a few weeks ago, when the price of gas went down, everybody knew it went down. Only because people started rushing to convert their power into gas. Some people were converting to what we call hybrids and stuff, so that their cars will be used. That Nigerians saw that those people selling the gas and everything saw that now they hiked the price. It's not, most of those things are not the government. Everybody wants to stop from there. Everybody wants to use the opportunity to shop. And so, at the detriment of themselves and other Nigerians, everybody wants to take advantage of every single opportunity, not thinking about what's going to happen next in the coming days. You understand? And when that happens, you start blaming the government. Everything is not really. I know the government is also. The government has some share of blame from there about. So everything is not always the government. We also, because Nigerians, we think we are smart. If something is happening now, we want to take advantage of it, and to us, we are smart. We have bad roads and everything. Most of those bad roads were good before. Like there's this street, this junction on my roadside, off this Akala Express and everything, around that Morgana side. The road was good before, but later, trailers and everything started passing. Even in the rainy season, you see them passing and everything. Nigerians don't drive where they're supposed to drive. Some people even drive one way. I don't even know. Nigerians.
All right. Thank you so much.
I mean, we totally understand you.
So that's just all I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. But remember to catch up with us next week, Monday, Tuesday. Next week, the weekdays on the AM Update. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. I love how Nigerians are really invested in this whole analysis of the palliative, breaking it down. I mean, I read a comment of someone who broke it down to local government and how much would be received, and he just did a breakdown. However, the statistics that you mentioned about the population is quite sketchy, because we're hearing 200 million, we're hearing 220. Until we have the census, that would determine an actual data of what our population is at this time. However, you made a very valid point, and I think we need to be very proactive as it concerns when we listen to news about data and monies being disbursed. Break it down so that these people know that we're very much aware of it. Thank you very much for your thoughts.
All right, now let's just quickly look at situation report to the city of Ibadan. Same as traffic updates here. Well, from Saudia on Twitter this morning says update from Labaowo Ogunpa. The road that leads to Labaowo from Ogunpa is damaged. It causes disruption in the movement of vehicles. Also, the road is quite dirty. Well, remember, guys, follow us on Twitter at Solutions939FM to get more updates concerning that. Oluwagemi Gatolulokwe 670 says light traffic along Molete Bode Road, light traffic along Molete Okado Road, Bushy Road along Molete Bridge. Tolulokwe reporting from Molete. I mean, you can see the picture, you can see the bush on the media.
It's the rainy season, so a lot of weeds will be growing very, very fast, and the offshoots will be ridiculous. So you need to take care of your environment.
And by the way, I like your cap, I like your outfit. That is the reason Alaja is also here this morning. By the way,
looking
Alaja,
colorful as well.
You guys need to take pictures today.
Amazing. I love it. Happy, what do you call it?
Happy Friday.
No, it's not Happy Friday.
Happy
for the
one
Muslims.
Day.
Ramadan Kareem.
Juma Mubarak. Okay, Juma Mubarak.
Yes.
Okay, well, and I'll be back 2 o'clock to 4 for Friday show. Victory will be here till shutdown.
Well,
my name is Ohada Bokunovi.
Well, that's what the job requires. My name is Victory Richard. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
get the buzz.